Hi guys, welcome to Rustic and Lace DIY. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you join us. If you're returning, you're probably wondering what the heck's going on. Yes, we've got a few changes going on today. Number one, this hat. My husband, who you are all probably figuring out by now, really loves sparkle and bought me this hat and told me I had to wear it for one of my videos. So I figured today would be the perfect day because it is a patriotic theme. And the next change is that we are participating in a playlist that is being hosted by Teresa B DIY and Sammy with Unicorn Dust Design in sponsorship for an organization called Fisher House. And this organization helps support family members of service members or veterans who may have some special care needs around the world. So if you would like to help this organization, best way you can do it is by watching all the videos in this playlist. Unless you want to donate money, that would be great too. But I am going to post a link to both Teresa's and Sammy's channels, as well as the playlist and Fisher House, so you can check it all out. So with all of that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, so for this first DIY, we start out with these 2 stars I got from Dollar Tree, the stencil of stars from Dollar Tree, and some paint. And of course, we're going to start off by taking off those tags on the top of the stars, and then I'm just going to fill those holes in with some of that spackling compound, and then I'm just going to do a quick sand over them once it is dry. Then I take my Folk Art Nautical blue paint and I am painting one of the stars blue. Now I got this inspiration from Kirkland's, and they have these 2 stars that are going to be almost identical to what I do. For $19.99, and I bought those stars $1 each, so we're into this going to be $3.50, something like that. So then on the next star I painted this one red. Now on the inspiration piece, the sides are not painted. It was left blank, and you see me very carefully trying not to paint all of the sides, but I really didn't like it, so I went in at the end and painted the sides to match. And then once I've got this all painted and once it is dried, I took my blue one and I am taping that stencil on, and I'm going to use a small paintbrush. No, I'm sorry. I'm using a stenciling brush or sponge, and I am stenciling the different size stars all around the star there. And this turned out pretty good. I did have to go in and fill in a few extra stars here and there. And then once I was done with that one, I just taped off some lines so that I can paint some white stripes on there. Now, it might have been easier to just paint the whole thing white and then, put on red stripes. I think it doesn't matter either way. This is the way I did it. So I'm just painting in some white colors so that we have red and white stripes along this star. The inspiration I don't think has anything on the back side of the stars. I'm going to use these on my tier tray, so I am in a little bit going to show you what I do to the back of it because I wanted it to look pretty. I didn't want it to be plain in the back. So then once I get done painting this and the paint is, I tear off the painter's tape, and then once it's all dry, that's what it looks like, other than, that's what it looked like at Kirkland's, and I just felt like it was too plain and needed a little something extra. So I just made a small little bow with my jute cord and put it on the front. Now this is what I'm going to do in the back. That was the paper I got from Hobby Lobby, and it's got all kinds of 4th of July scenes, and so I'm just cut out a couple of pieces, put some Mod Podge on the back of the stars, and put a little Mod Podge on top of the paper, and once that was all dry, I just added a bow to the middle. I was going to put it on the top, but it looked kind of funny, but it still looks funny when you look at the back side. But you know what? It is what it is. It's going to be on my tier tray, and I think it looks cute. And there's the back side. quick little easy. I can't believe someone would pay $19.99 for 2 little stars like that. Okay, for the next project, I made this little tray, and I started out with these 5-gallon stir sticks that I bought from Walmart. They were 3-pack for $1, and I cut off the ends, and then I think there was 8 there, laid them on a foam board, and I traced it out, and I cut out the foam board so that they can be on the back or on top of it. Then I'm just using some wood glue in the middle and some hot glue on the ends and gluing them all in place on that foam board. Once they were in place, I took some painter's tape and I covered every other board, and I'm painting the uncovered boards red, and then I go in once it's dry and paint the covered boards white. And once that was all complete, I took this little wood square piece that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I painted it with that same color blue, that nautical blue of folk art. And the red is crimson, is the color of Waverly chalk paint. And then it was white Waverly chalk paint as well. And then once that is all painted, and once it was dry, I took that stencil again, and this is where I used the teeny little brush because I didn't want to have the stars all over the place. I kind of wanted them more in a row. So I just used the little brush to paint in, and this did take a while. If you have a stencil that has all the same size stars, that would be best, or you could even get those foil stars like you would get when you were in school and put them, line them up where you want them on there and paint the blue over those stars. You know, first paint the square black or white, and then paint blue paint over the stars, and then once you take those stars off, then you would have the white shape underneath. That might be a little faster or easier. But this is all I had. So I just went in and painted 50 stars. I did get 50 stars on this square, not in the same pattern as on the flag, but I did get 50 stars on that square. And then once I had them all painted and it was dry, I made this little saying on my Cricut, "In God We Trust," and I just adhered it onto there. And then I took some wood glue and some hot glue, and I glued it onto the board. And it doesn't show me doing it on the bottom, but I do get some hot glue on the bottom there too. And then once that was dry, I took my Waverly Antique Wax with my wax brush that I got. I think it's a Waverly brand from Walmart. And I'm just rubbing that on the board and then wiping it, smearing it with a baby wipe because I want it to have that old fashioned look, like it's been around a while. So I just go and I do that all around the board there, and I absolutely love the way this turns out. I love the colors. And then when I was done, I realized that the foam board in the back kind of ripped, so I took some more of that paper and just put some Mod Podge on the back of it, and then I just lay that paper down on the back as well, and then that way it doesn't look like it has a rip on it. And it kind of dresses it up a little bit too. And then I just trimmed it down to size to make sure it fit right. Then I took 4 more of those sticks, and those painter sticks, and I just paint them with the Waverly Antique Wax. And then I use the this hot glue and the wood glue, and I start gluing them around that flag base. And when I got done, one of the boards was not long enough, so I just took some popsicle sticks and painted them as well, and then put them on the edge. And then here I am just going around the edge and putting some jute twine all around the edge there. And then I took these little beads that I got from a brain teaser game from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gluing them on the bottom to use as feet. And then I took some of this jute wire, and I just cut it and folded it in half, twisted it together, and then I just made some lines where I wanted to put them, and I hot glued them on. And this is not for use. If you want to do it where you're going to actually use it instead of use it for decoration, I would recommend something stronger for those handles. And there it is, and I think it just came out really super cute. And then here is the next one that I created. So I took 2 of these tag-shaped signs that I got from the Dollar Tree, as well as 2 fans that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then these stickers, I actually got these from Walmart. So of course I'm going to start by taking the tag off, not cutting it, but actually taking it off so I can use it another time. And I'm going to use these jumbo popsicle sticks that I got from Walmart, and I am putting hot glue on and putting them right there on the crease. That's going to hold the 2 signs together. And then once I was done, I took my Waverly chalk paint in white and I paint the whole board. So guys, remember, check out Teresa and Sammy's channels. Will have the link in the description box, and check out the playlist and watch everyone's videos. That will help earn some money and support for Fisher House. And also make sure you have those notification bells on. I'm going to be doing a few different things the next couple of weeks, so I will probably be posting some videos other than just Wednesdays. So make sure you have that notification bell. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you subscribed and joined our little family and hit that notification bell as well. And that way you'll be able to see the things that I have planned that are coming up soon. So once this is all painted and dried, what do? I take the fan, and it's really easy. It breaks off really easy. The only thing is I kind of had to tear a little bit of the paper that was glued in there. But once I got it all off those little plastic things, I just hot glued it together where it was separated. And then you just kind of have to fluff the little pleats a little bit. But it's not too hard, and they glue together very easily, of course. And then once I have them both glued here, I don't know what I was doing there, playing around with it, trying to get it, I guess, to look pretty. I had this little sign that I also got from the Dollar Tree. And so I'm using my little pliers to take the chain off of the sign and move the truck off. Well, I tried to use those as well to take off the little ring, and I couldn't get it. So what do you do when you can't do it? You call your husband. And he took it out to the garage and he got him off with some other wire cutters that he had. So while he was doing that, I just hot glued these fans on. I wanted them to look like fireworks. And you might have seen those stars in the middle. I do end up taking them off because this picture that I'm going to put in front of it covered it. So I just got this wooden piece from Dollar Tree. I painted it white. I took some red burlap that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just, what do you call it? You know, pulling out the strings, making it rough. And I realized I needed something more, so I grabbed some white satin ribbon that I've had forever, and I glued that on, and then I put the sign over both of those, and that kind of helped pop. Now I only put 4 little dots of glue on each end, but it's not going to work. You're going to see that here in a minute. So I glue that onto the sign, and I just tuck the sides in and glue them, and I do trim it down a little bit. You don't see that on camera though. And then once those are dry, you see it didn't work, so I just put a string of hot glue there and on top, and I do end up doing some on the bottom, and it works fine. So then I take some of those stars and I put them right where those little holes were to cover up the hole, and I'm using super glue just to make sure that they stay there. And I do there's some bigger stars and little stars. I put the big stars, I think, were shiny, and the little ones were kind of glittery, or maybe it was vice versa. So I did put one on top of the other. And then I just added some more stars around the white there. And then once I do that, I hot glue that onto those 2 fans. And then I take my Waverly chalk paint in mineral, and I'm just doing some distressing all over the board. I also distress the little sign and those stars so that they're not as shiny. And I just absolutely love the way it came out. And then once I was done with that, I took some of this baker's twine. I took the blue and the red, and I just start wrapping the bottom of that sign with it. And then once I got done, I just kind of arranged it the way I wanted it to look, and then I tied it off and glued it. And then I did the same on the top, and then I just tied little knots on the top part at the ends. And then I took these little wooden hearts that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I put those little sticker tabs underneath it and add some hot glue and put them around the board as well. Glue dots. I think that's what they call those stickers. Glue dots. Yeah. So there we go. And I did paint them as well. They were painted red and blue. Here I'm making a bow. Now I'm not going to show you the whole thing because I still need to practice at making these bows. But I made 3 loops with the bigger ribbon here, the blue ribbon. And I'm just cutting in a little bit in the middle so that my string or twist tie will fit there. And then I have some smaller ribbon that's red and then some even smaller ribbon that's blue with stars. And those I'm just kind of crisscrossing a little bit. And then I'm going to take a twisty tie and wrap it around the middle, and that twisty tie goes right in between those little slits that I made on the big ribbon. And then I just twist it and I just kind of play with it. I had to cut a lot of this out because it took me a while to really play to get it the way I liked it. Then I just wrapped the middle with some of that red baker's twine, and then I will cut out some of that bigger blue ribbon. I cut out all the ribbon just to make some of the legs for it. And here I'm just checking to see the size that I want for the legs. I didn't want them to be too long. And then I just put all 3 pieces of ribbon together and bend them in half, and then add the middle point to the back of that with that twisty tie. There you go. And then I was going to put it on the top, but there was no place for it to attach. So I took that popsicle stick and glued it to the back of that hole, and then took a tumbling tower block and put it on top so that I'd have somewhere for that bow to stick onto. Then I just took some of that baker's twine and put it through those little holes that were on there so that I had something to hang with. And then I just finished up the back with some paper bag. And there it is. I think it came out looking pretty cute. You have to tell me what you think. Do you think they look like fireworks behind the sign? I was hoping that's what it would look like. Okay, and for our final DIY, now I made this wreath for myself about 4 years ago, and what you're going to need is a 18-inch wire frame or wreath frame and some of these handkerchiefs. Now I got all of these handkerchiefs at Walmart, and all you're going to do is cut them in half, and then you're going to fold them in half and then fold them again and then fold them in a middle. You'll see it here again. I'll do it again here so you can see. So fold it in half, or fold it in thirds, sorry, then fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And then you're going to put the top part on the bottom and you're going to loop the ends through the loops. And you just do that all the way around. You alternate red, white, and then you add the blue at the end. And it's that easy. And then once you're done with that, I just painted this wood star that I got from Dollar Tree. This is actually going to be for my sister. She asked me for one years ago, and I'm finally making her one. So, and this is what she wanted in the middle, was just a white star. So once this was all dry, I just put the little twine on it, back on there, and there you go. An easy little wreath. And it took 18 handkerchiefs. I bought 6 of each. And then that wreath form, and you could do a smaller one. You wouldn't need as many handkerchiefs that way, but I did get the handkerchiefs at Walmart, if I didn't say that yet. And then there's some examples of other things you could do with it. So for the final reveal, guys, here's the last 4 projects. I really hope you enjoyed them. I do plan on doing some more patriotic stuff probably coming up here in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. And give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you check out the playlist and all the creators on there, and check out Fisher House as well as Sammy and Teresa's channels. I hope you guys all have a great week. I'll see you in a few days, so stay tuned. Bye-bye.